A very good morning. Hope you had an amazing weekend. We're back with another daily market outlook in which we analyze every major dollar pair and gold. So EURUSD on Friday saw a very strong bearish candle close and quite the drop actually in towards the downside. Now, last night we've seen a pullback actually back up in towards this daily area of supply, which is very beautiful. And now you can see we've seen a direct reaction to that overall buy before the sell. So what does this look like on the 4-hour time frame? Well, on the 4-hour time frame, you can very clearly see that the overall momentum is still definitely in towards the downside. Furthermore, you can see that that daily area of supply is pretty much your 4-hour order flow. So what do I mean with 4-hour order flow? Well, I mean that 4-hour area of supply over here, or that daily area of supply, is your entire 4-hour buy up before that massive sell down. Now you can see we've tapped exactly back in towards that zone, and now we're selling off again. We grab liquidity above this internal high, so we have grabbed liquidity. We've popped back up into daily supply, so I am now interested in looking at further downside here on EURUSD. Go down into the 1-hour time frame, and then you can see that it's still a little bit of a messy chart overall. We had this area of supply, so a very clean supply zone, but then again what you can see is that we pop up above that supply zone. Now, why is that? Well, guys, if you watch my video for a longer time, you will understand that there was no liquidity in the overall push down. Therefore, above this high itself, we grab the liquidity over there. Now, seeing a sell-off here on EURUSD is not ideal. Preferably, I would like to see one more push up in towards a refined area of supply like this one over here, then get the 1-hour change of character and then look for a sell. However, I am already ready to look for a sell once we break this 1-hour low over here, then see a pullback and then look for further downside. In my personal opinion, it's just a little bit too early to be selling here on Monday morning from this area of consolidation, which some would classify as a supply zone. Therefore, I'll be waiting for a little bit more bearish confirmation until acting upon my next move. Furthermore, that 1-hour low, which I just highlighted, is also our 4-hour fractal low. So let's see if we can break that low and then look for shorts, or maybe see one more push up from that demand zone and then tap up in towards more 4-hour refined supply zones and then get that bearish confirmation once again. So these are kind of like the two situations or scenarios that I'm looking at here on EURUSD, sitting it out for today here for the rest on euro dollar. Now, looking here at the dollar index, we saw straight away a quite a heavy sell-off in towards downside after grabbing liquidity above 107.993. So what is 107.993? Well, that is your major weekly, your major daily swing high. And if you look here on the chart, you can see that we've been talking about that swing high for quite some time. As you guys know, the highest point over here, that is where liquidity lies, and you can very clearly see as soon as we tap that level, a massive retracement in towards the downside. So is this now a sign that the dollar is ready to start pulling back heavier in towards the lows? Well, before we can give a good answer to that, we need to wait and see what the daily time frame is going to do from a structural perspective. What we're now seeing is that we've just come back down in towards daily order flow, in towards the sell before that buy up, and we're straight away reacting to that demand. Therefore, we can very clearly see demand is still in control, and it is way too early to be selling here on the dollar. If we also look at the 4-hour time frame, we can very clearly see that the 4-hour swing structure is also bullish. We get the push up, we get the correction, we get the push up, we get the correction, and now it would be very logic for a EURUSD to continue pushing up higher. We had a very nice area of demand over here and an internal liquidity low, which we grabbed liquidity underneath. We tapped in towards that 4-hour demand zone / daily demand zone, and now we're pushing up higher again. Could we see another sell off here on the dollar this week? Yes, obviously we could. We could just move down in towards this refined demand zone and grab more liquidity for maybe some patterns whatsoever, because at this point in time we need to wait for this 4-hour high to go before I am confirmed bullish again, and I'll be looking to get in on longs on the dollar. Now going into AU, but keep in mind the dollar is still obviously bullish. Looking here at AU on the daily, first of all, we can very clearly see that this daily area of supply, and excuse me, I'm going back to the previous chart, but that daily area of supply is in control. it is, to me at least, very clear that the overall momentum is still in towards the downside, and we can see here that this buy up for the sell down is your supply in control. Furthermore, this is indeed then your daily supply zone. Go down in towards the 4-hour time frame, and then we clean up the chart just slightly. You can then very clearly see that we grabbed liquidity above these equal highs. So what I'm now looking at on AU, and a lot of people would now be saying this is an interesting area of demand to potentially go long from, but for myself, the overall momentum is still definitely bearish, right? This is your swing high, this is your swing low. Now we made a retracement to grab liquidity, and now what I'll be looking at is, okay, can we break this low over here? So this low more specifically, see the push down, see the pullback, and then see order flow, take control and look for that further downside here on AU. So very nice to see that we grabbed liquidity with this high over here. Now just looking to take out this low and then indeed see more bearish pressure from AUD USD. We've made daily connections with the supply zones. We grabbed internal liquidity, so everything looks good for further downside for the rest of the week, in my opinion. Yes, demand is still in control. If we look at the 4-hour time frame with this demand zone over here being very obvious, let's just put it that way. But yes, we could just see a reaction and start pushing up higher again. If we do, it's not a problem, because then we look back at the daily, and what do we see on the daily? Well, we see that we, for example, still have this clean and fresh area of daily supply, right? This buy up before the sell candle, this one more specifically. So if we do get that reaction, perfectly fine, we look for shorts from there, but otherwise we will look for shorts once we break this 4-hour direct order flow, which is, and sorry for pressing spacebar, but which is this demand zone over here. So now going further into GBPUSD, what are we seeing over there? So GU made a nice retracement as well. First of all, let's start on the daily time frame. So here on the daily, we made a beautiful retracement into where? Well, we made a retracement into, again, the buy up for the sell down. So a perfect connection over here, as you can see. So now what we're looking for is, again, further downside. Go up into, or go down into towards the 4-hour, and then you can see this is pretty much just an area of supply. On the 1-hour time frame, it's a little bit more clear. And what I love about GU here is that we grabbed liquidity above the high. So as you can see, and I think I mentioned it last week, these are descending highs, right? This is a trend line which you have over here. So again, everybody placed their stop loss above this trend line. So what we see over here is that we grab liquidity and then we sell off. So what I'm now looking for is further downside continuation from pound dollar. Yes, we could push up one more time into that 4-hour supply zone. If I just show you guys this one over here, but ideally from here we would already start selling off as the dollar is still strong. So for myself, no longs yet on this. I'll just be looking for us to create overall bearish order flow and look for further downside. If we, for example, react to this and we see, let's say, a very big shoot up, then I'll just be keeping an eye on that 4-hour supply zone once again, and then I'll just be looking for shorts from there. Because again, we're not trying to call the bottom here on GBPUSD or on AUDUSD. No, we're trading with the overall trend in towards the downside. And as long as this trend continues to show us bearish signs, as it has been doing, then we'll just continue to look for shorts, because now this overall supply block over here, that is in control. If we were to break that, then maybe we could look for longs again. But for now, for myself, somebody who trades with the trend mainly, shorts are just really the main trade here on GU, but also on the other pairs. Now looking here at NZD/USD, first of all, the daily once again. So the daily tap back up in towards, of course, that daily supply zone, which is the overall buy up before the sell. So that's the overall order flow. Then we drop down into the 4-hour, and then we can see once again, okay, maybe here on the 4-hour it's not very clear, but if we drop up into the, or drop down again into the 1-hour, then it becomes a little bit more clear, because then what you'll see is that we had a 1-hour supply zone over here. But you can see that we just missed out on that 1-hour supply zone, which is sad to see, because we did have like this high over here right below that supply zone, which for me is internal liquidity again. So we have liquidity above that high, we tap it, and then we start seeing the sell-off. Preferably this morning, I would have seen one more tap up in towards that supply zone and then get the change of character down. That would be ideal, but obviously we can see that sellers are currently in control with this buy up, sell down, buy up, sell down. So this is just supply. This is now your supply zone. So let's see if this buy up before the sell holds, and then we'll just follow the overall order flow further in towards the downside. So sells still make sense for me here on NZD/USD. Now last of all, gold Gold has been pushing like a madman last week, and now we're seeing the correction. So what I want you to understand is where this correction is happening, guys, because where the correction is happening is the most interesting part. Again, you can see it's above a major swing high, right? So this is your swing high over here, and if you go up again into the daily time frame, you'll again very clearly see everybody, guys, everybody, and I don't need to use all these fancy lines and zones and whatever, because I can just see it here with the naked eye, is that we have this area of supply over here. Everybody sees that area of supply. Where did they place the stop loss? Above the highs. So obviously now everybody got stopped out. Now everybody wants to go short again. So the market is definitely playing with a lot of people's emotions. Most traders would take this trade like this with the stop loss above the highs, and now the real drop, and then they're going to be like, oh no, now the real drop is happening. Well, obviously it's because there was no liquidity in the push down, and the supply zone itself therefore becomes liquidity. So what I'm now looking at here is again for further upside here on gold. This is a very nice correction, just a possibility in my opinion to get in on gold longs. So let's keep an eye on it. A lot of lows are now being taken out. Again, where do you place your stop loss as a trader? You place it underneath this low, underneath these lows over here. So these are just all ascending lows where trendline traders would place their trendline on. So yeah, very nice to see. And again, I'll just be looking for some more longs today. Again, you can see this trendline over here just get broken. Very beautiful to see. So let's keep an eye on the overall order flow. Now you can see this fractal low gets broken. This is now your fractal high. So now what I want to see is a bullish order flow be created. I want to see bullish structure where demand is very clearly in control, and then we'll just have the possibility to trade it back up in towards this high this week. So that's what I have my eyes on for the week ahead. Thank you so much for tuning in. Wish you all a fantastic trading day, and let's speak inside Discord. Link in the description down below.